Hello everyone, welcome back. On our way to commence this morning's river walk. Beverage required, and today we'll be talking about the Wuthering Heights movie that I went to see last weekend. 10 degrees outside today. It's the warmest it's been in a long while and dry at the moment. So hopefully there'll be no wind as well, and then it'll be just a nice, pleasurable walk along the river.
Pirate ship, little pirate in the middle, peeking round.
So there's two things I want to talk about in this video. First one, working up the courage to post a video for the first time. And second, about Wuthering Heights, the movie, and what I thought of said movie, which I saw last weekend. Yeah, so working up the courage to post first time a video on the platform. My advice to anyone who's dwelling on whether to post a video, their first video, trust me, it does get easier once that first video is posted. Just in the sense that once the first one's up, that's it. You're on the road, and then the next one will follow quite easily. Best not to procrastinate. Yeah, thinking about doing something and not doing it is just, yeah, trust me, ill-advised. Also, filming your first video doesn't have to be perfect. The content doesn't have to be perfectly written. Even the filming, you know, it doesn't have to be Hollywood level. The sound should be good. Says me, the person that literally comes to the windiest place on planet Earth to film these weekly river walk updates. That is a new sign. Private land. Proceed with caution. Cyclists dismount. I think it just means that part. Just private. But this way, it'll be fine for pedestrians. Onwards. It's definitely run aground down there. See that? Wind conveniently picks up just for when I press record, but it's gone now. But yeah, look at that. This is probably one of my favourite places along this walk. Just love the light you get here. Various times of day. Brings, yeah, different sort of hues. But yeah, lovely spot. Also, just to finish up on the finding courage to post for the first time. The courage probably isn't the right word. Finding purpose probably is a better word to use. I don't suppose there is a right time to do it. I think you just need to be convinced that you want to do it. It needs to be something that you want to do, and go into it knowing that it might not end up being what you envisioned, but you can only try and see where it leads. But yes, that first upload is a big deal because it is a commitment, and you're going to go weeks and months kind of in limbo with anything you post. But if you enjoy it, surely that's what matters. If you end up finding where this place is, and you get to this is the halfway point, by the way. This is right out on the end. We're just about to make our way back. But if you follow this path and that tree centre of screen, you can see just about the pirate ship, where it all begins, where the walk commences. You probably can't see it in the light. It's quite grey out there, I suppose, but it's out there. Trust me. Okay, so Wuthering Heights, the movie. Went to see it last weekend, which was Valentine's weekend. What a movie to go and see on Valentine's weekend. I was going to do this review, for what it's worth, scripted. I'm not going to do that now. I'm just going to do it naturally. As thoughts come to mind, I'll relay them. So to be honest, considering some of the reviews and how poor the reviews were, I half expected to come out of the cinema last weekend thinking, well, I'm not sure whose version of Wuthering Heights that was, but it certainly wasn't Emily Bronte's. But I'm going to have to be honest, I'm going to break the mould, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Don't shoot me down in flames, just my take on it. And I've read the book twice, so I've done quite a lot of research into the Brontes, especially Emily. I'm not saying that gives me any right to an opinion on the movie, but going on the book, I think that's the closest take yet to do it the justice it deserves. To be honest, it only covers a quarter of the book, the movie, centering around the relationship. What I will say at this point is, let's navigate the usual sort of area and try and make it through without slipping over. Yeah, what I will say, if you are planning to go and see this movie, Wuthering Heights, or planning on reading the book, maybe the novel, please just stop watching now. I don't want to be accused of giving any spoilers away or ruining your experience of either seeing this movie or reading Emily Bronte's novel. So yeah, turn off now for fear of spoilers. Also, just a slight segue, still no horse. Once again, AWOL. So to start off, I'll say a few things that I liked about the movie. For me, there's so many layers sprawled out across those leaves of the novel, of the book. And one which the movie did definitely home in on was the theme of class bias. I think it captured this theme really well, the class bias subject matter. And not only homing in on that as an issue, but also highlighting and lending itself towards the era, the time, the Victorian period, where, you know, social classes and segregation of social classes were rife, not only through literature, but reflective of the time. I think another thing that the movie dealt with really well was abuse. From the moment Earnshaw brings Heathcliff home as a boy, he's already come from a neglected and abusive situation into a household now with the questionable Earnshaw, the darker side of Wuthering Heights, where it's all dark, to be quite frank. But I think the movie did that part really well. Neglect, especially for Heathcliff, from the moment that Earnshaw brings Heathcliff into the house, into Wuthering Heights. Earnshaw himself was already gambling, addicted to alcohol, venturing on abuse at that point anyway. From the moment Heathcliff arrives at that house, it is made absolutely clear to him that he is an outsider. He's not the same as them. He won't be treated as so. And it sets it up for, you know, that sort of circle of events where the child's already suffered with neglect and abuse, and now he's put in a situation where that's going to continue, and he's always made to feel like he's unwelcome, he doesn't belong, and he's an outcast. Then he finds the only person that he connects with, the only person he feels that he can have a relationship with, and that is Kathy. But then once again, class bias comes into it, and finding the perfect suitor, which means, through a series of misunderstandings, Heathcliff flees, and Kathy ends up marrying a wealthy gentleman who lives at Thrushcross Grange, Edgar Linton. And to cut a long story short, of course, when Heathcliff returns, Kathy is married to Edgar Linton, and once again this class bias and this feeling of being an outsider comes into play. Also revenge at this point is very much Heathcliff's motive, and upon returning starts laying the foundations of what he's going to become, which is exactly what his tormentors were to him: abusive to those around him, angry, vengeful. So if you are planning to go and see it, go with an open mind. Don't believe everything you read. When people criticise things, you don't know what they're looking for or what their tastes are or preferences are for the movie. But just go with an open mind, see what you think. Hope you enjoy it. I certainly did. 11 degrees still. That's going to do it for today. So I had to get out of the wind. Relentless wind, which became tedious. But yeah, if you're planning on going and seeing the movie, I recommend it. I thought it was really well done, really well directed, really well acted. The look of the film, the continuity on set, the cinematography, all of it was just a really, really accomplished attempt at that novel. And I hold that novel in such high regard. It's one of my favourites, and justice was done, I think it's fair to say. People will criticise, and that's fine. I can see where they're coming from on certain things that I've read that's been said, but from my own personal perspective, I think it was, yeah, very delicately done. It showed the darker side, which should have been there all along in other productions. It focused on a part of the story that I can understand would keep the audience captivated. So yeah, really well done. I don't want to say too much more about it. Go and watch it, enjoy it. And that's going to do it for today, Crimsonians. And more stuff coming this week, so stay tuned. Cheers.